What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the November 29th, 2024 edition of the SmackDown LowDown before Survivor Series tonight. We have Megan Morant and Scott Stanford open up the episode by recapping the main event, Jacob Fatu beating Jey Uso to earn the War Games advantage for the new Bloodline in War Games tonight. They also run down the other big headlines from the show before replaying the opening segment with the Women's War Games combatants kind of brawling, going back and forth, blah, blah, blah. We hear from Rhea Ripley. We don't really typically hear from her even on Raw Talk, let alone on the SmackDown LowDown, so I thought that was cool. But we hear from Rhea Ripley here backstage with Byron Saxton. And she says that what they're doing with the heels, we're trying to do and bringing up the past issues between her members and whatnot, her teammates in War Games. She calls it mind games. She feels like Liv Morgan and Nia Jax are actually just kind of projecting onto themselves. She knows that her team has issues, but they all have the same goal, and it's getting their hands on their opponents inside War Games. So good stuff here from Rhea Ripley. Back in the studio, they preview the Women's War Games match for tonight, and then we hear from the Street Profits backstage, and it wasn't really an interview, it was kind of like more of a vignette promo, which I thought was really cool. Angelo Dawkins says that DIY just keeps losing. They just keep losing every opportunity they have. They lost the tag team titles within a month. They failed to regain them, blah, blah, blah. And they've also been losing, but Montez Ford says that some people just can't handle losing like Tommaso Ciampa. Montez Ford also says that they show up and get back in the game. Dawkins calls Gargano a snake in the grass by trying to worm his way back into championship contention by just asking Alex Shelley for an opportunity instead of earning it. They also say that they're next in line. They deserve to be next in line for a championship opportunity at the WWE Tag Team titles, and they will drop Ciampa if they need to. So great stuff here from the Profits. Again, it wasn't really an interview. You didn't see, Byron Saxton in there. It was just a straight up promo from them, really, but I thought this was great stuff. Speaking of great promos, they replay the Kevin Owens promo from SmackDown with him addressing Cody Rhodes before their Saturday night's main event match coming up in a few weeks. Back in the studio, they preview the match for the event. They also replay Cody Rhodes beating Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown in a very fun match. They also replay Shinsuke Nakamura beating Andrade before he challenges LA Knight for the United States Championship at Survivor Series tonight. We hear from Legado del Fantasma backstage with Byron Saxton. Escobar says what happened last week was a byproduct of outside interference. He blames that loss to LA Knight in that United States Championship match on Shinsuke Nakamura. Then they kind of shift their focus to Elektra Lopez, who next week will be competing in the final quarterfinal match in the Women's United States Championship Tournament. It's going to be her, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi in another triple threat. And she says that she is getting closer to making history next week and becoming the inaugural Women's United States Champion. They replay the Michin, Piper Niven, Lash Legend triple threat on this show, with Michin winning and advancing to, advancing in the tournament, which I thought was the right outcome. They then replay the sit-down with Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Paul Heyman. Great stuff, as I talked about my SmackDown audio review from earlier, so check that out. They also replay the main event with Fatu, as I mentioned earlier. Fatu beating Uso to earn the War Games advantage. They preview the Men's War Games match for tonight. And then Megan and Scott kind of end on a cliffhanger by speculating what that favor for CM Punk will be. Because Paul Heyman promised CM Punk a favor if he were to team with Roman Reigns inside War Games and help him out against the new Bloodline. Punk said, okay, well, Heyman, you owe me a favor. What that favor is, we still do not know. And Megan and Scott were wondering like the rest of us were. So I thought that was a nice cliffhanger to end the show with here as we head into Survivor Series tonight. Good stuff here. I like the Rhea Ripley promo. I thought the Street Profits promo was great. And I also like that we heard from Legado del Fantasma before Lopez's triple threat match on SmackDown next week. Thank you guys for checking out my review of the SmackDown LowDown for November 29th, 2024 before Survivor Series tonight. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Have an awesome one, folks. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.